Hey, Steve Stine here. This song is called Not in That Way, and it's by Sam Smith. And again, another big request that I've had. This one is in 3, so we're going 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Or you could count to 6, obviously, right? But that's what it's in. So this song, in order to really play it effectively, you're going to need to play bar chords, okay? There's an easier way of being able to do this, but I want to show you how to do this the real way. And so it's going to require you to know your 5th and your 6th string bar chords. So what we're going to do is start off with D major on the 5th string, which is the 5th fret. And what we're going to be doing here is we're just simply going to play 5th string, 4th string, 3rd string, 2nd string, and then back up to the 3rd and 4th. So it goes. Now what I'm doing is what a lot of people refer to as double thumbing, which is thumb, thumb, 1st, 2nd. Thumb, thumb, 1st, 2nd. You can see that with my pick here, or the way I'm picking it. Okay, so if you'd rather use your thumb, 1st, 2nd, and pinky, or middle, ring finger, excuse me, sorry. You could certainly do it that way too. Whatever's most comfortable for you. But that's the basic premise of this, is you're going bump, 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 bump. The whole song just about is that same picking pattern. You're going to change strings, but that's the idea. So we have. So I'm going thumb, thumb, 1st, 2nd, 1st, thumb, 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 1st, 2nd. Okay, now the next chord I go to is an F sharp minor, which is up here on the 9th fret of the 5th string. So now I'm barring across the bottom 5. I've got my A minor shape with my other fingers. Now this one, I'm going to start off doing the same thing, but instead of just hitting this one, I'm going to hit these 2. So it's like the album, okay, or like the song. So I'm just dropping down. I go thumb, thumb first, and then I drop down to grab those. Again, if you'd like to go and use these 2, you could do that. Again, whatever's most comfortable for you. If you find it really uncomfortable to pick both strings, you can just keep the same pattern going. And that'd be okay. That high note really does make a difference, though. Okay, so again, explore whatever feels most comfortable for you in terms of the picking pattern. So I'm going. Okay, there what I'm doing is going thumb, 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 and then going to these. And so I'm going to change up the way I'm picking it. I'm really not paying attention to the way I'm picking it. It's just whatever comes out natural. But just be aware of those as you're playing this. Yeah, either one of those would be just fine. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to return to these middle 2 strings. Those 2 guys right there. Okay, so now you have. Sorry. Okay, then I'm going to go to B minor, which is on the 6th string bar chord. So I'm at the 7th fret, barring over all 6, making an E minor shape with my ring and pinky. And now I'm going to do the same thing, only my bass note is on the 6th string. Then I'm going to go to these middle 2, then these high ones again, and then back to those middle 2. So it's the same picking pattern that I did on the F sharp minor, except my bass note is on the 6th string. So I'm going. Sorry, I got to make it minor. And then I'm going to drop down to G major. Do the same pattern. Okay, so that's the beginning of the song, is just moving from D major, just playing those 4 notes, to F sharp minor, and I'm going to jump over and play 2 at a time up here. And then I'm going to go to B minor, and then I'm going to go to G major. And again, you might be doing thumb, 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 the 2, and then thumb again. Or you might be going thumb, thumb first, and then the 2. It all depends on what's most comfortable for you. Again, don't worry about all of that stuff. The key is consistency. Whatever you decide to do, if it feels more comfortable that way. A lot of times if I'm teaching a lesson and a student is doing something and every time they do it differently, it confuses them so they make mistakes. If it makes more sense to you, build one pattern that you like, one picking pattern, and then just stay with it. But try different things until you find the one that's most comfortable for you. All right, so whenever we do the verse to this song, that's what we're going to be playing. Now, one of the problems that I find a lot when people are learning how to play songs like this is the noise in between the changes between one chord to the next. So one little trick that you can do is to touch the strings as soon as the pattern is done, and you're going to move your fingers, touch the strings. So if I go, see, I'm touching, and then I move up, touch, and then move. And that way you won't get all these open sounds. It's okay if it's hard and you don't want to do that, it's okay. But it really does clean everything up in between. See? Now we're going to move on. We're going to move on to the pre-chorus chorus section, which is where we're going to go to B minor, do the same pattern. But then we're going to move down to A. Okay, so now we move down to the 5th fret instead. We went from 7 to 5. I made it major. Same pattern. Then I'm going to go to D. And I'm going to do the D the same way. You could do and hit those two, but I don't. I just do the D the same way I've always done it. And then I'm going to go to G. Okay, so I have this. This is the pre-chorus and chorus section. So I'm going A, D, G, then I'm going to strum G, and then A, and then he says not in that way, and that's where I go to D and A. Okay, so if you think about it, let's just think about the visualization here. We're going B, A, D, G. And then we're going to end it with G, A, and then D and A. Okay? So B minor to A, D, G. Now here comes the end of it. We have G, A, and then D. Then he just turns it around back to A. And he starts all over to. And we were back on that again. So your pre-chorus, B minor, A, D, G, and then G, A are the two strummed chords. So let me play it for you. You can play along with me if you can here. We go B, A, D, G, strum G, to A, to D, up to A for the turnaround. Now we start back at the verse. We're just starting all over again, okay? Now that's going to go through until we get to the next part here. We go from the B minor to D. Okay, so right here is where things change a little bit. So we go from our verse to our pre-chorus and chorus, to our verse, to our pre-chorus, but we don't go all the way through the pre-chorus. So here's what happens. We go from our B minor like we did before, A like we did before, D, G, then that's where it changes. What we're going to do then is we're going to stay on G, and this is the new section. We'll call this the interlude, okay? Just so we have something different to call it. We're going from our G, B minor, I'm going to the 5th string bar chord at the 2nd fret, B minor. A, D, then I start all over. I go back to G, B minor, A, and then it starts all over again. Okay? Now again, I'm just using the G bar chord because that's what I've been using the whole time. If you'd rather go to a regular G at any time when you're strumming something, it's perfectly fine. It's whatever's most comfortable for you. So let me kind of put those two parts together. So I'm coming from my pre-chorus. A, D, G. Now here we're going to stay here. B minor, A, D, back to G. You could go to a regular G, it doesn't matter. B minor, A, and then it's going to go back to the verse. Okay? Then you're going to go back into the pre-chorus section again, this. Okay? But then we're going to come out of that, we're going to be going da 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 da. But instead of going to the D, we're going to go back to B minor. And then we're going to drop down to, this is kind of weird, we're going to drop down to an F sharp. It's like an F sharp minor sus4, kind of. But it's just a little weird chord in there. And so what we can do is we're going to bar over the second fret, all 6 strings. We're going to put our middle finger on the 5th fret of the fourth fret of the 5th string, sorry. Pinky is going to go on the 4th fret of the 3rd string. And I'm going to pluck 6, 5, 3, and then, so I have, see? So I'm coming from B minor, down to, then G, then A, then you're back to the beginning, and this is the end. Okay? So it only happens at the end of the song, okay? It's the very last one. You're going from B minor down to here, G, then A, and then D. Okay, so that one you got to catch a little bit. That one's the weird one at the very end. Okay, so this F sharp minor 7 is really kind of what it is, and then it's got that sus4. But the difference is when I'm picking it, I'm not picking the 4th string at all. I'm just skipping that 4th string to get that kind of sus sound. So anyway, that's how Sam Smith goes. If you have any questions about it, get a hold of me through Guitar Songs channel. If you have any requests for any songs, please make sure that you click on the link and request something. And as soon as I get some time, I will get to your song and upload it as quickly as possible. So thanks. Keep practicing hard, and I'll talk to you soon.